Hey there again, TikTakers! Today, we go back to one of our favorite countries, Japan, to share with you a legend about love, the story of Sakura. We think this is the best way to celebrate Saint Valentine's Day with you all. Hundreds of years ago, Japan was being ravaged by terrible wars. Every time a war ended, a new war would begin. Thousands of combatants would die daily, and the country was filled with sadness and misery. However, despite so many battles, there was a forest that remained intact. It was filled with beautiful and lush trees that exuded delicate aromas. This was the favorite place of Japan's ancient inhabitants, since they could always find peace there. No matter how many battles took place, no army would dare to defile such a beautiful wonder of nature. In that forest, there was a tree that never blossomed. It looked dry, as if it was dead, but it wasn't. It seemed to have been condemned to not enjoying the same colors and aromas the other trees had. The animals wouldn't get close to it, and grass didn't grow next to it. Everything around this tree was afraid of getting close to it and being infected with its curse. Then one day, a fairy from the forest was moved after seeing how that tree looked so old, even though it was young. She told him that she would help him become beautiful and made him a proposal. She would use a spell on him that would last for 20 years, and during that time, the tree would gain the ability of experiencing human emotions. That way, he would be able to feel positive emotions that would help it blossom up again. Thanks to that spell, the tree gained the ability of transforming into a human and back into a tree whenever he wanted. However, if he didn't manage to recover his vitality in 20 years, he would perish. The tree accepted the deal and tried living as a human for a while. Unfortunately, the experience was very disappointing. All he could see around him was hatred and war, and those negative emotions weren't helping him blossom. Thus, he would periodically turn back into a tree and remain like that for a long while before trying being a human again. Years went by and the tree still hadn't blossomed. Until one afternoon, while in his human form, he saw a beautiful young woman by the side of a river. Her name was Sakura. Impressed by her beauty, he approached her. The young woman was very kind, and he decided to help her carry water from the river to her house. On the way, the two talked about how sad Japan's constant state of war made them feel. The woman asked him what was his name, and since he didn't have a name, he decided to call himself Yohiro, which means hope. The two became very good friends, and every day they would meet to talk, sing, and read books together. The more he hanged out with Sakura, the more he wanted to spend all of his time with her. He fell in love with Sakura and decided to confess it to her. He also confessed that he was actually a tree and would be perishing soon, since the 20 years of the spell were almost up, and he still hadn't managed to blossom. Yohiro then turned back into a tree. His time was running out, and every day he felt more and more sad. Then one day, Sakura came to him and gave him a big hug. She told Yohiro that she also loved him and didn't want him to die. And then, the same forest fairy from 20 years ago suddenly appeared and asked Sakura if she wanted to keep being human or instead fuse herself with Yohiro into a new tree. Sakura looked around her and thought about how the world was almost completely desolated by war and misery. And so she decided to fuse with Yohiro forever. The two became one. And in that moment, the tree they formed finally blossomed. The word Sakura means cherry blossom, something the tree didn't know. And from that day on, the love between Sakura and Yohiro fills with beauty and delightful aromas the fields of Japan. What a beautiful love story, right, TikTakers? We're still wiping away our tears after hearing this legend. Do you know about any other heartwarming legends such as this? If so, let us know in the comments. We are feeling very sentimental today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!